I fly 2 drones. I'm privileged enough to fly 2. One of them is a Mavic 3 Pro. If you don't know it, it's a drone with 3 different cameras, 3 different focal lengths, and it gives you above 4K, actually 5.1K resolution. Beautiful photography opportunities, 20 megapixels, and a sensor that you can really, bring a lot of magic out of. If you're not familiar with my work, in the description you can check my socials and see what I'm talking about. The other one I'm flying is a small one, and it's mostly for fun, and it's a so-called Cinewhoop. It's a small FPV drone, so you look through goggles and you fly it not in a so much stabilized way, and you can fly it through smaller gaps, and it doesn't have any sensors to stop you from flying into things, so that's just an element of risk. I love that thing. I absolutely love it. I put together a nice box with all the accessories, and it's all set up for success. The issue is, there's 2 major issues. One, the quality of the footage I get. I barely ever use footage from that drone. So I have fun with it when I'm done flying the Mavic 3 Pro, and then I fly the Avata for 10 minutes, and I never use the footage, except for the part in Slovenia, if you check my previous video. And even then, if you want to know the little behind the scenes secret, I flew that same 1 minute little segment 4 times. The first 3 times, it cut out as I was going round the church. That was less than 100 meters. So yeah, the CE rate that they've given it is 2 kilometers. The farthest I've ever gotten with it was 800 meters. So yeah, and the third thing that really annoys me is the noise it makes. I'm used to loud drones. High-pitched, low-pitched, not an issue. But that is high-pitched and loud, and God, does it turn heads, and it's annoying. So yeah, those are the 3 areas that I really wanted to see improved, and so I knew something was coming, but I'm not lucky enough. But if you do want to help me out and subscribe, I might be one of those people in the future that gets a drone ahead of the release. But yeah, rumors have been flying around, but it's now official. And as soon as it came in, one of the retailers put aside a unit for me, so I'm gonna go pick it up. I'm super excited, and yeah, we'll hopefully see those improvements, those 3 areas, and I'll let you know more about it. Wait, wrong item. Yay! So, we got the new stuff. There's still one thing to do, so bear with me. I'll be right back. So it's the next day now. The one thing I had to do was sell the Avata 1, which I already had a buyer for, but I was waiting for the announcement just to make sure all the leaks were correct and I could get my hands on the Avata 2. So yeah, and also I don't have a 7-month-old puppy with me. So yeah, it was getting late. I needed to take him home, get him fed. And also I have a policy with new drones, which I learned the hard way, is take it home, connect it to the computer, and wipe it, upgrade it with a cable, with DJI Drone Assistant. Yeah, and I learned that the hard way. I didn't crash, but the Mavic 3 Pro almost did. When I got it, I updated it through the app and got out after charging the batteries. And the DJI RC was so buggy that it continuously froze as I was flying the drone, and then it disconnected, and it initiated return to home, but it didn't see a power line. And I managed to reconnect, not kidding, probably 2 seconds away from crashing into the power line. So I wasn't very happy, went home, and I since then just been doing that. So after feeding the puppy, I needed to wipe the drone. And by the time I got it done, because the goggles wouldn't connect, because it said connect PD power cable. And even then, it struggled a few times, and the motion controller wouldn't take the firmware. So anyway, it's okay. I got it done, but it was too late, and so now I don't have a puppy with me, which also helps. and we can hopefully go back to a spot where I know 3 exact locations where the Avata would struggle. It wouldn't disconnect completely, but it would struggle, and so then we could see whether the signal is better. Because the Avata 1, and I think this is what mostly crippled the experience for me, is the CE rate for it was 2 kilometers, which I'm okay with it being like half of the claimed distance. Like in the Mavic 3 Pro, I think it's 12 kilometers or 10. I'm okay with it disconnecting anywhere less than half of that. But yeah, with the Avata, 700 meters is the farthest I could really fly out, just to test it. And yeah, most of the time within 200, 250 meters, direct line of sight, and it would start giving me the weak signal, which really bothered me. So that's the first thing that I want to see. And then the second thing is, I mean, there's not a single cloud in the sky, so we should get hopefully relatively good footage. I don't have ND filters; they're on their way alongside the remote controller 3. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just bear with me. Once I get to the location, then we can get started. All right, so for those of you interested, you can find a better unboxing channel somewhere else. But when you open the box, you get everything in the bag, which is good because you know everything fits. I'm gonna show you what exactly is in here. So you got the Hero, the Avata 2, which is great. You also have your charging hub with the 3 batteries, fully charged. It's another reason why we didn't do this yesterday. They all needed charging. It specifically says on it you need to charge before the batteries activate. And you got the motion controller 3, awesome. It's got extra functions and a scroll wheel and 2-step trigger, so 1, 2, which allows you to maneuver the drone without it moving anywhere, which is great. And you got the goggles 3, larger antenna, as well as 2 cameras that allow you to view the outside world in 2D or 3D. The 3D one really threw me off yesterday. I was trying to look at my phone. You really can't use your phone when you're looking through these 3D cameras. So you've got a bunch of extra propellers, a screwdriver, and some extras in there for more comfortable wear. But again, I'll let you discover that on your own. All right, we're gonna head out. We're just leaving the city behind, and I've booked that part of the field for myself, and hopefully no surprise small aircraft, because I've had this issue before where they start flying this way and it's not in any way notified. So out of all the times that happened, only one of them carried an ADS-B, and so I got a notification saying aircraft nearby, which means obviously as you're flying an unmanned aircraft, you need to give right of way. So yeah, let's just see, and I'll show you around, and I'll tell you where the first generation of Avata would lose signal. So we'll see how that goes. So this is the old bakery for the city. It's abandoned. It's surrounded by this nice hill going up, and there's also a cross, a crucifix up there. And so you'd lose signal in 3 places. I'm gonna be standing right there where I used to. And the first time I'd lose signal is right above the building itself. I mean, 30 meters pretty much distance. Second part is over those trees over there. And the third one is as you go past the crucifix. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. Conditions are ideal apart from the very harsh sunlight. This is not a good way to start testing the camera. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Where are you guys at? This is quite zoomed in. The 2 cameras here can show you real life, and I can see the goggles in the top left corner, but I checked the goggles recording and it doesn't show you the picture-in-picture. So anyway, we're gonna try this in real time. So you double press the brake button. It should arm the drone, and you hold, press and hold
And here we go. Amazing. All right, so now when you half press the trigger, you can maneuver the drone without it actually physically moving anywhere. So, all right, let's see how this goes. All right, we got movement. Okay, so we're gonna double tap on the right side, but it's more like a double whack to exit picture in picture, and we're gonna take it slow. This is in beginner mode, which I'm not sure why it is, but that's not gonna do. How do I exit beginner mode? Settings, disable. All right, that's easy enough. Okay, ready? Let's go. Good. So first thing I can see is it says 60 megabits per second and 28 satellites connected, which is good. So that's more than the first generation with the goggles Integra. Now trees do block signal, buildings block signal, so I'm not particularly surprised when that happens. And I can see that it definitely handles stuff like highlight roll off better than the first gen. I've got this insured and I've got care refresh, so let's hope I don't have to use either of those. Steady 8 meters a second in normal mode. Supposedly the sport mode is now 2 meters per second faster. And we'll try and find out in a second if that is the case. So, okay, we went over the trees once. And I'm gonna hit, sport mode. All right, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Nice and steady. It is dropping off in terms of megabits per second. But once I fly past this crucifix here, yeah, you see, okay. We did get an amber warning there for the feed, but not for the control. There is something to note here, and the sun is really not in an ideal position for us, but it does go almost 17 meters per second, so that's quite okay. It definitely stops slower than the first gen. All right, so here we are. Let's do that again. All right, we're gonna be nice and steady with this. So I'd go over here, I'd go towards the river. I'm not facing the right way, so that's some points deducted for me, but okay, it is definitely stronger. It would definitely cut out here. Plus, there's a huge body of water next to us, which also, again, doesn't benefit our signal strength. And there's something to note, the difference between what you see on the bottom right corner, the HD feed and the remote control. So there's a difference between what you see in the goggles and what the drone gets as input. However, if you don't see where you are, so you're breaking direct line of sight, for instance, it does happen every now and then you can't really maneuver back. And this is exactly what happened with me in Tuscany. And if I still have the footage, I might try and show it to you. But I was 230 meters away and slightly up in elevation, around 20 meters or so. And it would cut out. Now, what it doesn't show on the goggles footage, because I went home and checked, is that it threw me back into the goggles main menu. And the problem with that is I couldn't find in that moment any way to go back to the drone menu, so the actual view that you're seeing now. And it did say signal was interrupted, but the worst thing was it wasn't actually interrupted. And I stood there for almost 2 minutes in a bit of a panic, just going, okay, well, it's going to initiate RTH. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. But it didn't. And I couldn't hear it come back. I mean, 230 meters is what, 10, 15 seconds for it to come back in a straight line once it goes to your preset altitude. And it didn't. And I stood there and I couldn't get back to it. And I was trying to see it in real life where it is. I couldn't see it. And then I figured, okay, well, why don't we try the motion controller's joystick and try and go up higher? And it turns out it was still connected. It was the video feed that disconnected. But once that disconnects, you're kind of screwed. You don't really know your position. You can try and manually come back, especially with the motion controller. It's not always that easy. So I'm hoping that the OcuSync 4 improves on this. Now what you see here, actually, just give you a bit of an insight, but we're not going to hover over it for too long because we're not supposed to. But yeah, they found some multiple 1,000-year-old bones, I think, there. So no information has been given out at this point, but this is a city that used to be an ancient burial ground, so quite cool. Okay, well, let's see if we can come back to me, and I'd break about now. Okay, good. How awesome. Well, it definitely flies just as good, and it is, let me tell you, miles quieter. Definitely a whole lot quieter. Let's see if we can go towards these streets and see how far we can go. Oh yeah, not far. Not very far, I'm afraid, before it starts throwing warnings at us. I'm just curious to see. And I can hear an aircraft. Hang on. See, this is what I'm talking about. There's an airfield across the Danube over there. I'm going to have to come and hit the brake button. Very nice. And I don't have to take the goggles off. And I can see an aircraft right there. Screw you. Once again, I'm just going to reiterate my point. This is not communicated in any way. And in fact, even that airfield doesn't know exactly who's flying where, which is just worrying. But all right, we're going to end this video here just for first impressions, and maybe I'll go home and check the footage and let you know how it looks. I can see the Avata. I can maneuver it. Not when the panic button, as I call it, is active. But it is quite cool that you can now... Oh yeah, this is the real deal. Okay, let's see if we can land this while doing picture-in-picture. I wish you could see it recorded, but... Oh, it definitely flies like a dream. Alright, where are you? Over there. Wait for it. Oh no, it doesn't want to land on the bag. Okay, we'll find another spot over here and land it. Wait for it. Landing. Oh, it did not like those bits of grass. All right, well. Ooh, it's bright out here. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully this didn't cut out at any point. I'm going to fly in another location because I can't do it here. It is slightly better signal, and I can already see that the image quality is miles better, and it's quieter. And the fourth thing that I didn't mention yesterday, the SD card location. Absolutely great. It's now on the side of the body, so you don't have to try and do acrobatics every time you want to remove your SD card. And it supports file transfer as well as PD charging if you want to charge one battery directly in the drone. There's some cost saving for them. It's great. It's really good. I'm looking forward to using it more.
You know what? Let's not finish there. I'm gonna go literally out into a field, and and I've tested the Mavic 3 Pro there, and it goes 4 kilometers in a straight line. That's when I got bored, and I was like, there's really no need for anybody to do that anyway. It was just for scientific purposes. But I'm curious to see, without any sort of obstruction between us, apart from a field, and a few power lines, what sort of distance we can get with this. I really want to see what it would do, because in Tuscany it was really 3 houses not next to each other. I think it was a single power line. Yeah, I'm just curious, so just bear with me.
Okay, so we got picture in picture here. So that field over there, there's no power lines, no buildings, no body of water, so we should be okay. I've flown here before with the Mavic 3 Pro, 4 kilometers roughly, and I thought, you know what, there's really no point in anybody doing that, so I just wanted to test OcuSync 3 Plus. Okay, so we got the Avata 2 in the air. I'm going to exit picture in picture so I can concentrate on the flight. And I mean, I'll be happy with anything sort of north of 3 kilometers. So we got a near full battery in there. And I'm just going to unlock the drone, position it. And yeah, okay, let's do sport mode. And here we go. We're not going to go too far up, but yeah, we should be okay. All right, so 200 meters. Let's see where we get. So I'm facing the drone with the motion controller. Not the best test for the camera, I'll tell you that. I can see it tilting slightly. There is some wind to consider here, but nothing major. I think 7 kilometers per hour, so 4 miles an hour, but maybe up there it's a little more. All right, so here's the first amber warning at just under 1 kilometer, so 1,000 meters. What on earth is that about? There's really nothing, and I'm gonna show you now. There's really nothing here. All right, let's keep going. Worst case scenario, it initiates failsafe RTH. I mean, I am trying to face it as much as I can. Okay, 1,200 meters. Boy, oh boy. Okay, 1,300 meters now. There is, okay, so we just went into red for a second and then back to full strength for a second. Let's see if increased altitude will help us. Very interesting. 1,500. I see now we're getting RC dropping out as well. Okay. There's some wind there. 2 megabits per second. Really not ideal, but I mean, I've still got full control. There's really no reason anybody would be flying this far with an FPV drone anyway, but I just want to sort of see, there is a little improvement for sure in the sense that it does recover better. I do have to factor in the wind as well upon returning, so we're not going to push it too far. We're still going. $2,100, 2,200. I think I'm going to stop at 2,500 because the wind is picking up and we're nearing 60%. So especially with an FPV drone, you do want to be overly cautious. It doesn't have any sensors. Oh, we got 1 megabit per second. Still going. All right, now this is just pointless. Okay, cool. 2,500. We're going to return. Ironically, the Avata would always cut out when I turn back towards the home point, so I'm not sure where the antenna is in that one. But cool. Okay, it's 2,500. That's not bad, to be honest with you. Still 1 megabit per second. I got full control of the drone, so that's not an issue. And at least, now that the sun is sort of a little more than 45 degrees behind us, I'm hoping that this footage will do the new sensor justice. I think it's the sensor from the Action 4. See how that goes. People are mounting those on FPV drones anyway, but good stuff. So yeah, as we get back closer, still only 2-3 megabits per second. Very, very interesting, but 31 satellites. Can't really ask for more. Wind is picking up a little bit. It's going full bore, 16, 17 meters per second. Excuse the wind noise. I really just picked up now. So yeah, as we approach power lines, amber warning, and then we're fine. So yeah, it does very actively respond to the things that would normally block a signal. All right, so we're gonna end it there. I just wanted to sort of run this test, but yeah, this field is being prepared for the season. All right, let's go. Interesting. I'm not sure why the warning is. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the field I'm in? This is not the field I'm in. That's why we're getting warnings. All right, okay. You know what? Fairly impressed by the range. So I can definitely do more. What on earth are you? Hello. Ooh, not gonna disturb wildlife, but that's cool. All right. That's not even my field. All right, cool. We're back to the 50s in terms of bit rate. Very, very cool. You know what? I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this, and hopefully the footage will also do this justice. So, all right, okay. Pretty much back to where we started. Slowly letting off the steam. All right, cool. I'm not gonna get too close to residential areas. All right, gonna take this off just for a split second and hit that. All right, thanks for sticking around. I do content related to drones, cameras, cars, travel, street photography, and I'm sort of documenting my journey, starting my own way of life, really. Running my own business hopefully soon. I've got some opportunities coming up with sports, with concerts, with all sorts of stuff. So stick around if you do like those topics. I really do appreciate you watching this. If you're just interested in the Avata 2, definitely pop your questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I've been a drone enthusiast for years. And so, yeah, I'm happy to do the research on my own machine. Thanks for watching. And if you liked it, please join the channel, subscribe, and yeah, catch you in the next one. Ciao. We're gonna have to forgive me for this one because I ain't got the time. Only now when I'm walking the puppy and he's going insane because there's another dog nearby. All right, so footage. Let's see this one. I didn't want to leave the Avata 2 with just harsh midday sun footage. So here's a bonus. Here's an extra for you. Yeah, just flew around at sunset in a park, and my God, it's so much better. Flies better. At no point did it give me any sort of a warning, as well as you can actually see things when you're flying towards the sun. So if you're thinking about it, upgrading to it, in terms of is it better than the Avata 1, in almost every single way. So yeah, just go ahead and do it. It's really, really good. It flies so much better. And not to mention, the minute you start flying away from yourself, unless you're standing in the middle of the road like I was, nobody knows you're flying a drone. It's really quiet. So yeah, good stuff. All right, do it. It's a great drone.